What's up guys and welcome back. My name is Jake Towell and this is my art series where I share with you guys some art pieces throughout my art career. And today we have a very special piece. I call this Dudes. It's a very simple piece but also has a lot of different color variants which we'll get into later, and I think they all work really well and all give off a different vibe. So first things first, let's get right into the sketch phase. So as you can see, the sketch phase is kind of scary. It looks like some sort of horror scene. Just mangled parts. This dude has no head. Truth be told, I actually have no idea. When I looked back at the original illustration of this piece, I looked back and there was no sketch with the head. So I don't know if I freestyled the head when it came to the line work. I don't know what happened, but as you can see, there's not too many differences here from this and the final render, but it looks like just the hand there was giving me struggle. Otherwise, all the lines are very precise and I knew exactly what I was going for here. So this line work, besides looking kind of terrifying, looks very well put together and well thought out. So let's get right into the line work. There's the head. Less scary, I'd say. Overall, this line work I think looks just so good. I mean, like I said in the last video, we're kind of getting to closer and closer to kind of where I'm at now with my line work and how clean my lines are and how precise I want them to look. Obviously, there's a lot of things in this piece that I'm looking at and I see some things I would do differently now, but I did make this a couple years ago, so that just kind of makes sense when you're progressing in something. Overall, the line work looks actually awesome. I think it fits this frame really well. I think it's very cohesive and consistent. There's so many great details in this piece and I'm really excited to talk about them. So let's get right into the final color phase. Before I do like the fully detailed look at these pieces, I wanted to go through each color variant. So here we have kind of like a green tealish colored skin with an orange background, and I think that works really well and it looks really cool. I think this one kind of strays away from the colors I used consistently in this piece, so overall I think it looks really nice, especially with that flesh and the bones and the blood on the left. I think it looks really cool. Now we have, I think, my favorite color variant of them all, and that's the yellow skin blue background. The blue kind of blends in with the jeans, but I'm not too worried about it. I think it looks really cool and it kind of reminds me of The Simpsons, and that's like one of my favorite shows ever. So again, I think it looks really good with the colors that are consistent in this piece, but overall this is definitely my favorite. Leave it in the comments after I show you guys all these pieces and all these different color variants. What's your favorite color variant in the comments below? I actually really like this one, the red skin purple background. I think the red skin looks really cool. I think it definitely draws away from the blood in the arm on the left side, which is like, would bother me, but I don't think it would bother anyone else. But overall, I think the red skin looks actually pretty sick, but definitely not my favorite, but looks really cool, that purple background. Now we have the green skin mint green background. I think this also works very well, and he kind of looks like a zombie, like a Minecraft zombie, almost like a Minecraft villager zombie, which is pretty funny. But again, looks really cohesive, looks really good with the constant colors there. Maybe blends into the shoes a little bit, but the shoes are very bright green and have a lot more rendering within them, so it doesn't look too crazy. But overall, that's the green on green. Looks pretty cool. Now we have this brown skin to the pink background. Definitely one of my top 3 favorites for sure. I think having a really dark skin color definitely brings out those constant colors. Like I said, the pink of the shirt, green of the pants, and the gore and the bones on the left. And having that dark brown, like neutral color to that vibrant pink looks really cool. I guess my only problem with this one is the pink background with the pink shirt. It definitely blends in a little too much, but overall, like the points I want people to look at are very popped out of the image, and I think that's very successful. So definitely one of my favorites. Overall, really cool color concepts there. Lastly, we got a purple skin, reddish orange, I don't know, like a rusty, bright rust colored background. Probably my least favorite, but seeing it on the purple skin looks really cool, really goofy, really alien-like, and it looks really good with all the other cohesive colors. There's so many great details in this piece, and I'm really excited to break them down. So let's get right into the fully rendered. Obviously, we've been looking at the fully rendered image, but dive deep into the fully rendered image and talk about some of these details. All right, so we're back with the yellow skin blue background. As I said, it was probably my favorite of the 6 color variants. Make sure you leave a comment down below. What's your favorite color variant? But anyways, to the details. There's so many fantastic details going on here. I made this so long ago, so I'm really excited to scope this thing out and really look and see what I did. So one thing I do want want to point out is I have little hair popping out of all the limbs here, which is such a cool idea. And I did this a lot with a lot of pieces back in the day. I don't know if you've seen those in my past videos, but I always liked adding those little hair follicles on the skin parts. And overall, it kind of takes away from those flowing t-shirt and pant textures there. So it just kind of looks really, really cool, really realistic looking. Honestly, he's chilling. If I'm looking at the face of this guy, he's kind of like Giga Chad meme, if anyone watching this knows what I'm talking about. But he's actually kind of chilling, contrary to what's happening to him right now. One of the great focal points is definitely his forehead here. And he has this third eye. And I actually really, really like how I rendered this third eye. As you can see, I have these smaller eyes rendered exactly how that big one is. So keeping that cohesive, except it doesn't look like that's his brow. So I kind of gave him a brow, but you can see the head at the behind it. So it's just really stylized. It kind of looks like I took those eyes out of his head, which look more natural under his eyebrows, and just shoved it in the top of his head, all blown up. And that's kind of like, it's kind of close. I mean, I didn't physically copy paste the eyeballs in there, but it's definitely exactly what I did. But overall, I think this eyeball is such a attention grabber within this piece, and it looks really, really cool in this dude's forehead. Talking about some other things that are in this dude's forehead, we got these two rings. As I've said before, I really liked adding rings to a lot of my pieces, kind of filling in the gaps and adding more visual stimulus, if you want to say that. And we got these two rings here. One ring's got another ring around it, and that's what's holding on this broken off forearm. And there's such a great stylization here. I think it did such a good job with the bones. Obviously, the bones don't biologically make any sense. You can see that there's layers of like skin folded over to flesh to bone to blood, and it looks really, really good. I also really love this plastic like glove that I made. Obviously, it doesn't fit his hand. As you can see, his hand's pretty large, but it's super stylized and super goofy and twisted and moving around in there. Just kind of lifeless, and I think that's overall what I was looking for with this like broken off limb. Moving down the limb, we got this bone protruding out the other cut off part, but he's also super jacked. You can see there's veins everywhere. I put veins on his forehead, veins on his other arm, veins on his hand, and I think that just overall adds more. Again, I'm going to say visual stimulus, I don't know, lack of a better term, but looks really, really cool and adds another color to throw onto that skin. Because as you can see, most of my renders are one dark color, one bright color, and I knew I wanted to change this into a bunch of different colors, so for the color changing of the actual skin, I only had a shadowed black line there. So it doesn't have any bright spots. I just wanted the skin itself to be the bright spot. Then I had a shadowed black tone to all the dark spots around this. So changing it color wise wouldn't be any different, right? So let's look, see, I got a green here, but the color doesn't change much. The red here, color doesn't change much because it's just a black shadowed line. But moving back to the arm, super jacked, super ripped. I love how the stylized lines here. Obviously, like I said before, I don't use reference. So making these limbs is kind of like a product of what came out of my head randomly. And I think overall it looks really, really cool and really, really stylized. Moving down to the shirt, we see the other glove not in hand. So the same glove that's on the top left is kind of sitting in this giant single pocket on his shirt. And this shirt looks really cool too. Very stylized as well. You can see the armhole on the right. The right armhole is a little smaller than one on the left here. And I don't know, it's just super goofy and it all works super, super well. And I'm really proud of it. But that's the t-shirt. Moving down to the pants and the legs. Super jacked legs there. One's definitely longer than the other. One bends, one straight like a normal leg, which is really cool. And again, a really stylized character anatomy here. And I think it looks really, really cool. And then we have these shoes that are kind of like liquidized. Like this one's funneled up and spreading out like a dress. And then this one's like being smushed closer to the toe. And I think that just looks absolutely sick. We have a ring going through his leg in the bottom of the shoe there. But another great detail talking about the shoes is the shoelaces. If you couldn't tell, these shoelaces are actually winding around the composition. So this lace is going in and out and through, down and around, in through his pocket, out through his leg. The shoelace is going in the shoe, out the shoe, up in the leg, out the leg, in the leg, out the leg, around his finger there, which is pretty cool. Well illustrated as well, and straight to his t-shirt. So a lot of really cool details there. But overall, that is this dude's piece. If you like this piece and want a print of your own, go to the link in the description or in my bio to my imprint store. Get a poster of this piece. I believe it's only in this yellow form. If anyone leaves a comment on a color that they want a print of in my store, I can put that up in my store as well. Again, leave a Comment down below which color variant you thought was the coolest. And again, follow me on my Instagram for all my modern pieces, anything I'm doing contemporarily. And if you want any of these pieces, check out my store. I really appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.